a little bit about me. My name is Kayla Partee. I'm a 24-year-old creative in this space. As far as how I got introduced to the community, my family were from Miami, Florida. We moved here to Atlanta, Georgia, and honestly, we were told Atlanta was just the land of opportunity. So many entrepreneurs were thriving, so many businesses were thriving, and that's what sparked the interest in my family. And I remember my parents told me about this community. They're talking about financial literacy, they're talking about how to save your money. To be completely transparent, I did not care. And I like to highlight that because a lot of people will hear about life changing opportunities and brush it off and blow it off. But I do believe for me, this was almost like a divine opportunity. And I don't think that God would have let me miss out on this. So anytime that I wanted to blow it off and blow it off, it was almost like me getting constant reminders time after time, a new invitation, a new flyer. And I'm seeing like, okay, all right, let me just tune in one day to see what's actually going on. And I remember attending an event, and that is when I met Mr. Bryant Bean. And I'm like, oh, this makes sense now. Oh, I saw it for myself. This is a non negotiable. This is a no brainer. And if it's anything that I learned when it came in this space, is that there are so many ways to make income, but there's a lot of limitations when we're talking about learning wealth. And that's exactly why I love this community, because being able to learn to bridge that gap from confused to confident is something that we don't get enough. I went to school getting higher education, feeling like that was what I needed to win, until I realized I was really just getting my hands wet, just getting a taste of what real knowledge was when it came to financial literacy in this community. It's no knock to school, it's no knock to working, but I realized in this space that there are things that relationships can teach you that money just simply can't. And that's why I say share this call, push this out, because the next individual that's about to speak is somebody you don't want to miss. And by the end of this call, you're going to want to ask, how do I get involved? How do I start more? How do I learn more from this community? Because it's nothing but a firehouse of trailblazers that you better watch out. Because I tell people all the time, the money will change me, but I need you guys to see how. And working with somebody like Mr. Brian Bean, it's almost like a first class ticket to success. And specifically, I don't know what demographic is watching this, but if you know somebody who's a part of Gen Z, they're in high school, they talk about winning all the time and making money, send them this recording, send them this link. As a matter of fact, right now, if you have to just hop off right quick and make a call and get back on, let them know we're bringing in a new wave of people that's really ready to shut it down. So it's enough for me. I want you guys to meet the person who's putting me in position to be able to just be a better woman, be a better individual, and learn the true meaning of entrepreneurship and being a trailblazer when it comes to financial literacy to be able to impact generations I might not even meet. So without further ado, feel free to come off mute and give it up for Mr. Brian Bean.
Man, let me tell you. Come on, mute for Kayla, man. Do me a
Hey,
favor.
hey,
Clap that
hey.
out.
Right, all right.
Go, Kayla.
Good job,
Hello,
young
hello,
lady.
hello,
Taylor.
hello.
It's
Great job.
amazing.
Yeah.
Kayla.
Hey,
Kayla, don't you move. If I could just have a Kayla like in my pocket to just pop out and motivate me. If I could just have a Kayla that's just as articulate and optimistic every time I see this young lady, she never has a bad day. Kayla, I'll say it until I can't say it anymore. I haven't met a person like you that's this natural. I know some rock stars, I know some superstars, I know some charismatic people. But when I use the word natural, I've been on stages for 30 years. I haven't seen a person that just has it at such an early age, so articulate, so innovative, so creative, but more importantly, has the heart of the people. So y'all give me some tools in the chat. Kayla, I need you. I need you Monday through Thursday, man. Just come on
Let's
back.
do
Let me
it.
know if you're available. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Your parents got to be proud, man. You're a great, great person, and I'm glad to call you my friend. Hey, listen, I went long last night, but I'm not going long tonight. I said these things were going to be 30 minutes, and I looked at the recording yesterday, and the truth about money was a whole hour. So I got to get right into this. What are we doing, man? We're just giving some free value for the month of November. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7:25, same Zoom. You guys can bring everybody for free. You guys can let everybody know that there's a safe space where we can talk about money. There's a safe space where we can share ideas. There's a safe space where during these crazy economic times, you got to start shifting the way you feel about money and how you think about money and your perception of money. And that'll change your relationship with money. And that'll change how much money you have. Now, I said money about 5 times, so I want to make sure this is clear. I don't worship the dollar. But let's be honest, in America, it's a very valuable tool. What determines the kind of clothes you wear, what determines the kind of car you drive. And I'm not talking about flashy. I just mean whether you're safe in a car that'll turn into a pillow if you get into an accident, or whether or not you're going to shrivel up and crumble if you get into a fender bender? Well, what determines that is money. What determines the quality of education that our children receive is money. What determines the legacy that our grandchildren have is money. So money's not everything, but it is right up there with oxygen. Let's just face it, you got to have some in this country. So what I'm doing is I'm using November to galvanize people who want to be part of a community where we discuss money, we discuss your relationship with money, we show you how to get money, and we educate you primarily first, because it doesn't matter how much money you have if you don't take care of it. So that's what the Extra Digit movement, now known as Extra Digit Global, is all about. Now that we've added AI to our community, instantly we became an international organization. Instantly we built some international relationships. Just like that overnight, people love AI and the trillions of dollars that it's going to bring. And I'm going to show you how we're using AI to tie it into our community to attract more people. Remember, AI will not replace people. You'll always need HI, which is human intelligence as well. But what AI will do is replace the people who don't know how to use AI. So what we're doing is we're using AI to introduce you to a whole new industry. And then we're using our framework SIMPLE, SIMPLE, shift, increase, multiply, protect, and leverage everything to show you that we leverage relationships. We're going to show you how to shift money back to you. I've been blessed to have some multi-millionaire mentors who are going to be part of the community. We're going to show you how to increase your money. That's the I. Multiply your money. That's the M. Protect your money. That's the P. And then leverage everything in our community so that you can fall into this circle of success. Now, let me just show you guys something real quick. Take notes. I want you guys to grab a pen because I'm going to give you a recap very, very quickly here of what we talked about yesterday. But just have a notebook that says the truth about money. See, I'm about giving the value away because guess what? I wasn't born with it. I didn't just pop out and know this stuff. This is people pouring into me and showing and seeing something in me, like how I see something in Kayla that she may not even see in herself. Somebody saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. So I'm giving you information that I was given, and that has given me a life that's really worth living. So I want you to just have a truth about money notebook, and every day come back and just add some more to it. And then tomorrow through Thursday, add some more to it. And then next week, right here, same Zoom, we're going to add some more to it. And by the end of the session, hopefully your thoughts about it will change. What I talked about was real quick, 4-minute rough draft. Recap success. There are curvy lines, there are twists, there are turns, there's 90-degree angles, there's right degree angles, there's every angle you can think of that's going to come your way when you try to be successful. Remember, success is automatically met by opposition. The universe has to see whether or not you deserve what's going to be bestowed upon you if you get through that success. Those circles and trials and tribulations. Without it, you won't grow. For those that don't know me, I have a training series called the Instincts to Income series. That's where I take animals and I study different qualities that God gave certain animals. And I show you how to take that quality and put it into your human existence and become a beast. A butterfly, right, is stuck in a cocoon until, that's called metamorphosis, until he finally breaks out. He was once a caterpillar breaking out of a cocoon. Slowly but surely, he'll work his way out. But when you're a kid, it looks like he's struggling. So you cut the pod and you help the caterpillar become a butterfly. The truth is, you killed the poor butterfly because it is the strength, it is the struggle, it is the twists, it is the turns that make the wings strong enough to get out and fly. When you stop the struggle, you destroy that experience. Write this in your notes. Enjoy the struggle. That's a mindset shift, but it's a very important one. The minute you start to enjoy the struggle, remember, things aren't happening to you, they're happening for you. Now, Brian, what does this got to do about money? I came here to learn how to make some money. It has everything to do about money because the twists and turns that are going to come with you trying to get money, you have to be strong enough mentally to overcome these things. Let's go. We talked about the illusion. What's the illusion? The illusion is that when you quote unquote retire, and I don't know who put an age limit on that, but the illusion is that when you quote unquote retire, that you'll have enough money because your bills should be lower But what they don't calculate is the inflation that is higher. That's the illusion. So why do people wait to do the math when they're already in it and figure out that the cost of living every single year is getting more expensive? Think about bread, think about eggs, think about daycare, think about healthcare, think about haircuts, think about nail salons. Everything is more expensive. So here's the operative question. 10 years from now, do you think things will be less expensive or more expensive? Will education be less expensive or more expensive? Put in the comments more or less. 10 years from now, will gasoline be more expensive or less expensive? Well, Brian, by then we'll all have electronic cars. Okay, 10 years from now, will that battery be more expensive or less expensive? Inflation is government mandated. We talked about that yesterday. If you missed it, inflation is government mandated. What does that mean? That means because this country is built off of investments, because this country is built off of investors, and because this country and institutions have a fiduciary responsibility to make sure that the investors are taken care of, things must inflate. The answer is simple, guys. It's not hard. You have to shift your mindset and say, am I putting my money in things that increase in value? Most people don't believe in cash, asset, cash. They get some cash and they go buy some trash, and then the formula stops. The formula is simple. Inflation, I mean, you have to put your money into something and let inflation push it. If you don't put your money into things that inflation is pushing, then you'll always be on the wrong side of inflation. We talked about that yesterday. Just giving you a quick recap, and then I'm ready to rock and roll with my conclusion tonight for this particular topic of illusions. So what is inflation? Real quick, inflation is the cost of living going up every single day, which causes your dollar to drop. Here is a little bit of the I in simple. I want you guys to always remember this. If your bills come in a circle, water bill, whether you drink water or not, the water bill is coming. Light bill, power bill, whether you cut the lights on or not, it's coming. Internet bill, it doesn't matter how much you use it, the bill is coming. Cell phone bill, we don't care if you dial or not, the bill is coming. How will you ever catch up if your bills come in a circle, but your money comes in a straight line? The answer is simple. You won't catch up. You'll never catch up if your bills are circular, but your money is linear. So what you have to do is put the circle on a circle. Inflation helps you put the circle on a circle. So now as your assets go up and your cash flow goes up, if your bills continue to go up, then everything can catch up. You get it? So the name of the game is to put your money into things that inflation pushes. Yesterday, I talked about real estate. I'm not here to tell you to invest in real estate. I'm not here to tell you to go buy real estate. I'm not here saying if you're a renter, something's wrong. What I'm saying is, isn't it funny how when you sell a house, you love inflation? Let's get into it. The illusion, part two. I'm going to call this the conclusion of the illusion. Here's what you have to do. Write this in your notes. Own a piece of America. You have to own a piece of America. Now, if we didn't see anything else in 2008 and 2009 and 2010, we saw that the real estate industry buckled and almost put us into a depression, far from a recession. Why? Because when people got over exaggerated, exorbitant loan amounts for houses that were not worth that much, they walked away from the houses. What do you mean? Well, the banker was in on it, the appraiser was in on it, the buyer was in on it, the builder was in on it, the developer was in on it, the seller was in on it. So everybody about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, was making crazy money by inflating prices. Well, what happened was when balloon payments kicked in on those mortgages that were $1,500 a month, and that same mortgage became $2,800 a month, the person with the $1,500 mortgage, but the inflated house walked away. Well, what happened? We had a lot of vacant houses. What happened? We got a lot of vacant lots. What happened? Banks had too much inventory on their books. What happened? Banks stopped lending. They had too much money already out there on pause. Everything froze. What happened? Crime starts to take over the neighborhood. Why? Because houses are starting to sit. What happens? Wood, nails, tiles, counters, marble, hardwoods, curtains, chairs, furniture, roofs, TVs, fireplaces, fireplace parts, forks, knives, sofas. What am I missing? Everything that goes into a house froze. Well, Home Depot has to lay people off. Nobody's buying. Restaurants have to tell people to go home because nobody's eating. Furniture stores have to shut down because nobody's purchasing. Bed and manufacturing companies need to lay off because nobody needs mattresses. Why? The houses have been oversold. The houses are now going in reverse. So it reversed our economy. Well, that tells you that the only way this country works is when money is circulating. 15 years ago, when money stopped circulating due to the housing crash, restaurants, business owners, furniture shops, stores, nails, screws, hammers, you name it, look around your house, everything froze. What that means is real estate is part of the American fabric. Anything that impacts our whole world just like that, where banks or the government steps in to bail banks out, anything that's important enough for the federal government to say, hold on, we can't let this happen. Well, the banks let people who couldn't afford the homes get them. The appraiser wrote the house up for an exorbitant amount, even though he knew it wasn't worth it because he was getting a check. The builders and developers and buyers and sellers were getting away with it for a long time. But when the bubble burst, the government bailed everybody out. No, the truth is you bailed them out. See, what the government did was pass that tax on to us. This is why people think life is unfair. No, capitalism means you pass the buck on to people who don't understand it. When you realize that if you are a consumer and a consumer only, if you are a taxpayer and a taxpayer only, you will always bear the burden of this country's mistakes. Everybody do me a favor, come off mute. I'm not preaching, I'm just telling you the facts and say no more, only if you know you're not playing that game no more. Only if you know.
No
No
more.
more.
No more. No
Totally no
more.
more.
Okay,
No more.
so the name of the game is to become part of the fabric of this country. Own a piece of this country. Now, I gave you a real estate example from 15 years ago just to show you that all of us are holding this thing up. Well, if you want to be one of the individuals that benefit from the people that are holding it up, which is also you, then you have to own a piece of it. So let's look at this real quick. Inflation, the silent income killer, the illusion that things are getting more expensive is actually a misnomer. Your dollar is not going as far. That's really what's happening. It's not that things are getting more expensive, it's that the dollar you have doesn't travel anymore. That takes a minute to wrap your head around, so I'll give you an example. When you go to the gas station, the top number represents your dollars. The bottom number represents your gallons. Now, 15 years ago, when I was growing up, when I first got my car at 16, it used to be dollar for dollar. Click, that's your dollar. Click, there's a gallon. Click, 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 click. The pump is the only place where you actually see what your dollar is doing. That's why it hurts so bad. You like, woo. So 30 years ago, it was click, 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 dollar, gallon, dollar, gallon. I rode all week on $12. Hatchback, Toyota Corolla, cruising down the street in my 88. Okay. What's my point? My point is now the top number spins fast, dollar, 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 dollar. The gallon spins slow. Click. So now you're getting 1 click for every 4. Now you feel it. The same dollar is still green. It's still made of paper. It still has presidents on it, but it's not getting you but 1 click for every 4. So if I were to put you in a time capsule and send you back to 1991, you would see click, 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 click. And then you get out of that time capsule and come into this year, 2025, and you're like, hey, I got $12. Well, $12 now gets you 3 gallons. $12 used to get you 12 gallons. What happened? It's not that things got more expensive. Your dollar shrunk. So how do we become a piece of the American fabric? Well, let's look at another example before I give you the answer. Since we stand on gasoline, if the price of gas stays sky high, listen to me. Everything in business boils down to supply and demand. As long as the tankers, let's just say, for example, stay full, and as long as there's a need for oil, and as long as it's a must-have commodity, there's no need for oil or natural gas owners or gas stations or gas companies to say, hey, let's deflate the prices. Everything boils down to supply and demand. If there's enough of a supply and there's a big enough demand, why would I drop it? Prices only come down when the demand is low, but the supply is high. Then I have to drop it and say, okay. Nobody's buying gas. Let's encourage them a little bit to buy gas by bringing the prices down. As long as the demand is high and the supply is high, I can keep my prices what? High. The only way gas will drop is if the demand becomes low, but the supply is still high. In fact, if the demand becomes high, but the supply becomes low, prices go even higher. So you can't look for things to deflate. It's not going to happen. If everything is driven by supply and demand, there's no reason to drop the prices. Why is this important? If a farmer, for example, has 800 acres and he has tractors, he has lawnmowers and everything that takes oil and gas to make your fruits and vegetables, and gas gets sky high, Farmer John will pass the cost on through his fruits and vegetables. He was able to absorb the cost of another business owner's demand. Does this make sense to everyone? So Farmer John said, hey, I can take the cost because I can't do nothing about it. I got oil, I got gas, I got tractors. I need to make these fruits and vegetables. So what I'll do is I'll just raise the price of grapes, raise the price of potatoes, raise the price of whatever he's growing, and he's going to bundle it up and give it to the truck to take to the store. Well, guess what? The gasoline in the trucks is much higher. So now, Mr. Distribution, 18-wheeler, trailer, 20 of them come and get the fruits and vegetables, relatively speaking. Not literally, but figuratively. The gas prices are much higher. The gas from the plows, the gas from the tractors, the gas in the 18-wheelers to pick up the fruits and vegetables. By the time it reaches the store, your local grocery store is like, well, damn, how much Farmer John charging you? You're like, hey, Farmer John said the gas was sky high. I had to fill up my 18-wheeler. So the 18-wheeler was sky high. So now we got to pass the cost on to the local retail grocery store. The grocery store said, well, damn. We got to raise the price of bread, fruits, vegetables, and eggs. So they pass it on to the consumer. Now, here you come with your check from 2 years ago, because you're still making the same money you made when everything wasn't so high. But now all the inflation has been put into your buggy. And you just shopping around, twiddly, la la la. And you wonder why your cart is empty. Your cart is empty, but you spent the same amount of money. Click, click. Click, 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 click. Dollar, 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 dollar. Click. Dollar, 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 dollar. Click. Everyone is passing inflation to you. The answer is simple. If you can't beat them, Join them. Everybody who passed the inflation owned a business. Being a business owner is part of the American fabric. Brian, I got to have a brick and mortar? No. You can have a home-based business. Congress passed laws years ago that said the same benefits of a traditional business owner can get passed to a home-based business owner. You need a house or apartment and a social security number. Eventually, a LLC, you start making some money, you incorporate. That's not my topic. What I'm saying is, if you don't own a business, you are getting creamed. So why is this important? Because if you don't overcome inflation, nothing I talk about the rest of this series, Monday through Thursday, right here, same time, nothing else I talk about, it doesn't matter. Because all you're going to do is make more money and it's still going to get gobbled up by the silent income killer, and you're going to still fall for the illusion that you're doing okay. Nothing else matters. Write this down. Step one, what do we do about it? How do we wrap our minds around the fact that becoming a business owner is a must? Step one, awareness. How do you know that something is even possible if you've never seen it? How do you know that something's even possible if you've never seen it? Now, my slide said 6 steps, but I'm gonna give you 4 for the sake of time tonight. Yeah, 5 and 6 don't matter for this particular part of the conversation. How do you know something exists if you've never even seen it? Do you guys know? I still remember the first time, and I was really, really young, so don't laugh at this. But I remember the first time I went to Orlando, Florida. Now, I've been some nice places now, but at the time, Orlando, Florida, boy, I just couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that giraffes were walking around Animal Kingdom. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that I could stick my head out the window and see a giraffe just walk by my suite. I couldn't believe that a bull with horns like 12 feet long were just right outside my balcony. I couldn't believe it. I stayed at Animal Kingdom. I couldn't believe it. When I first went to Vegas many years ago, I could not believe that these lights in these hotels. Is that a hotel with a roller coaster? Look, now I'm like, ain't number circus. But I'm talking about really young. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe that New York, that they had a replica of the Statue of Liberty on top of this hotel. That's just New York now. But I couldn't believe it back then. I couldn't believe that a gondola in the Bellagio, the Venetian, that they had a river that ran through the hotel. I couldn't believe it. Those 2 domestic trips help expand my vision. Now, when I went to Dubai 2 years ago, I have a condominium in Dubai now. I went to Australia. When I went to Egypt, I've been to France, I've been to Italy, been to some nice places. Okay, Australia, um, Aruba, South Africa, Johannesburg, everywhere, not everywhere, but a lot of cool places that have taken me much further than I ever thought a guy from the south side of Atlanta could go. What's my point? Until you see something, how do you even know it's possible? The problem with most people, and the reason you're not going to take action on a lot of the things I'm saying, is because internally you can't even see owning a business. You can't even see being a millionaire. You can't even see traveling the world. You can't even see. I'm not talking to you personally. I'm saying most people can't even see further than where they are because they can't even use what God gave them, known as their vision, to imagine it. I'll give you a hint. Start small. Turn off reality TV and turn on the Travel Channel. Then you'll know what's out there. Stop looking for craziness on social media and go look for the top 5 most expensive restaurants in the world. Now you'll know what's out there. That don't mean you can afford it, but you'll know what's possible for you. You'll know what's possible for you. The first thing you got to do is have awareness. Number 2, you got to have intention. You must set the intention in order to reach the goal. You must set an intention in order to reach the goal. Everybody, please write this down. You can't track what you don't measure. You can't track what you don't measure. So you must set your intentions. I said many, many years ago, I'm not going back to being broke. I hated being broke. It just doesn't give you any options. It don't give you no choices. People get to bump you around. People get to control you. And it's always a person with some money trying to control you with their money and dangle it in your face like a carrot because they think you need them. I figured out a long time ago, I'm not going to put myself in a position where I need somebody that's going to dangle something in front of my face and act like I'm their slave. I had to learn that years ago. You will not dangle money in front of me and act like you control me. It's because I set my intentions a long time ago that being broke was not going to be an option for me, that investing would be the vehicle I use to pay myself first, that I would have streams of income that came in as a result of something that I created. Why is that important? Because when you set your intentions, you start looking at money and opportunity different. I was tired of being broke. Look, I'll tell y'all a true story before we go. Somebody said, preach. I see you, Delilah. I see you, sis. Let me make sure y'all okay. My 30 minutes is up, but I got a story to tell you. Is that okay? Let's say you're okay if you're okay with me.
Preach,
I'm
preacher.
okay.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Let's
Preach.
get it,
We
Brian.
okay, coach.
Let's do it then. So check this out. What's up, Aaron? I see you, and I got a special guest that's going to close out with me real quick. I want y'all to hear this real quick. I went through a financial struggle. And in retrospect, it was important to go through this. Shortly after Makai was born, I went through this little temporary tailspin. My business took a hit. The industry was changing, and it looked like things were going to get tough for me. I had just purchased a home. I had just remodeled the home. I put a lot of money into it. And that's when I learned that, right? Cash is king, but credit is queen. We'll talk about that. You know, I got a few days with y'all, so we're going to talk about a lot of things. But so things were tough. But I promised my son I would take him to the zoo. I promised him. Now, he was only like he was like 1.5. And I promised Makai, he doesn't know this, but I'm going to tell him one day, I said I was going to take him to the zoo. Now, I learned that you should never break a promise with your children, if at all, if you can help it. Never make promises you can't keep. I was looking at my finances, and I had some money, but I was predicting how long the money was going to last. So I had to start acting like I didn't have any money. Anybody? Give me some ones in the chat if you've been there before. I had a little money, but I had to act like I didn't have no money because I was looking for or preparing for the storms. He said, Daddy, zoo? He didn't forget what I told him. Daddy, zoo? Zoo, Daddy? Zoo? I looked at my finances. I was like, I tell you what, Makai, because I'm not going to lie to you. We're not going to the zoo, but we can go see some animals. He was like, yes. Do y'all know where I took Makai to see some animals? Y'all, I had to take my son to PetSmart. Y'all start laughing. Hold on, let me go in the gallery and see who's laughing. Y'all laughing? Ain't nobody laughing? Okay, all right. It ain't that funny. That's funny. Tariq, I had to take my boy to PetSmart. And I went in PetSmart, and he was so excited. Fish. I said, yes, fish. I picked him up. I said, look, man, you need to see these. You need to see these fish. They had lizards. They had snakes. Oh, don't let me take you over here to the cats. Back then, they had the cats. I don't think they have cats anymore, but they had dogs. They had cats. I took them to the fish. I took them to the lizards. I took them to the snakes. I asked one of the people if he could drop some grasshoppers in so they could feed the snakes. Brian, what's your point? I didn't make excuses. I made it happen because I set my intentions. And because I said I would never let my child down or I would never be broke again, I keep stories like that in my back pocket. Put that in your notes, man. You got to set your intentions. If you're going to become a business owner this year, do it. If you're going to start playing by the rules of the wealthy, keep your good records, pay yourself first, start to invest your money, get less taxes taken out of your paycheck, get tax deferred investments so the government allows you to keep it with yourself a lot longer so that cash flow can stay in your family so you can build an asset that you can pass to your grandchildren. You have to know that that's the formula, and getting wealthy has formulas attached to it. It's not luck. I'm not the wealthiest guy in the world by far. I'm not even the richest person that I know. I'm not even the wealthiest person in my circle. It ain't even close. But I do know that everybody has a formula. So you got to set your intentions. You got to say to yourself, I can get wealthy. 3, that's where the decision comes in. The root of decision is to decide. And IDE means death. Pesticide, suicide, herbicide, homicide, genocide. IDE means death. You need to decide to kill your old thinking. That's a decision you're gonna have to make. That your misgivings about a home-based business and how small it is, and you too proud to let people know, your friends know that you got to make some money on the side. See, all those days are over. You got to say to yourself, you know what? I got to start a home-based business, if nothing else, to teach my children and grandchildren that entrepreneurship is part of your portfolio. This is the change that you have to make mentally. See, a lot of people look at a home-based business like it's small, it's nothing. Yeah, I work at such and such and I'm a corporate executive. No, what you're doing is you're adding a home-based business to your portfolio. If your portfolio is a pie, then your home-based business is a slither of it. Stop worrying about what people will think of you, because then you start getting those results. So you got to decide to kill some of your stinking thinking. You got to decide that you want to own a piece of America. You got to decide that you want to be intertwined into this country's fabric. Last one. 4 steps. Discipline. Your ability to consistently eliminate excuses and avoid distraction. Now that you've set your intention, take a screenshot. You got to have the ability to avoid distraction. You got to have the ability, the key word is consistently eliminate excuses and avoid distractions. Now that you've set your intentions, Myron Golden, good friend of mine, personal friend of mine, I talked to him maybe a few months ago. He always says, distraction is anything that does not move the needle in your favor. I said, Myron, you better tell. You better tell. Anything that does not move the needle in your favor is a distraction. So you got to make sure you consistently avoid these distractions. How? By weaving yourself into the American fabric of ownership. How many more opportunities can you afford to miss? How many more opportunities can you afford to miss? Did you miss the internet and social media? 34 billionaires created. Did you miss the cryptocurrency craze? Of course not, because these things are still here. 85,000 millionaires created. Will you miss AI, which is what we're using to give you tons of education and ramp up our business model in December? More millionaires created in the first 5 years than the internet did in 20. How many more opportunities are you going to miss because you made excuses? And now you're going to pass up another business opportunity. Somebody put you on this Zoom because they told you that we're using AI. Our framework is simple: shift, increase, multiply, protect, and leverage everything. We're using AI in November to ramp up our simple model that I just told you in December. And I'm going to introduce you to 2 of my mentors that are going to show you how they got wealthy and created residual income and give you the opportunity to do so. November is where you use AI to learn it. Let AI do your social media posts. Develop your twin and their personality. Fix the lips on it so it look more like you. It speaks 120 different languages, 150 different languages. It's brand new, so most people don't even know how to take advantage of it. And you got an opportunity through Extra Digit Global to plug in. Let me tell you guys something, man, before we go. I got a good friend of mine. I'm so excited that he joined the team. I'm so excited that he decided that AI was not going to be an opportunity he missed. I'm so excited because this man has served this country and he's one of the individuals that provides the veil that all of us are protected by. Mark Rabbit, what's up, man?
Happy to be here, Brian.
How you feeling?
Good,
You
good,
look
good.
like you look like
A lot
a
better. I'm doing a lot better now that you reached out to me a few days ago. The energy has really shifted, so thank you very much.
No, you're welcome, man. I was so excited to get a text from you today to say, I'm in. I was so excited to get an email saying he's in. Why AI, Mark, and why now? You text me back and said, this is so much fun. Why are you liking AI, man, and why now?
So, first of all, before I get into why I like it, I've been looking at this for a while, and I wound up leaving a full service IT company. Tomorrow is going to be a year. And I was with them for 8 years. And seeing what technology does and how it transforms lives, I've been looking at a lot of different AI platforms. I've bought some programs that have automated bots. And the learning curve on it, it's rigorous. I'm not a techie. Even though I was in a tech company, I'm a human behavior guy. So it's very daunting to me. But the way that you share this, and I watched you and I go back before MWR, when I was on a speaker circuit, and that's where I found out about you. You've been consistent, you've been diligent, you've been rigorous, and you do have the gift to break down the complex into simple terms and executable items, unless you get in your way like, some of us over here. But I'm excited because you have this all underneath one roof. I look forward. I haven't been excited about doing something or learning something in a long time. My brain has just kind of been mush. And I've been going along to get along, and I got stuck in that place of the status quo. And that's a bad, bad place to be.
Yes.
And so when this came up, all day today, I've been watching different videos. I watched the recordings. I went through, not all of them, but just about all the corporate trainings, just to get an idea of, okay, what is this going to do? But I'm even more hungry to learn more about the items beyond just this platform. The wealth opportunities, the simple aspect. And
yes.
It's simple if you know how, or you know the people that are making the moves and you follow their recommendations. So I'm here following your lead. Always remember, folks, in order to be a great leader, you have to have great followers. And that's where it all starts, is being a good follower. So I'm here, teach, coach, mentor, lead. Thank you, Brian. Yeah.
No, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Y'all do me a favor, man. Mark Rabbit in the building with Global, Extra Digit Global. Y'all, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Come on, mute for him,
Yes,
man.
Mark.
Welcome, Mark.
Welcome back.
Coach Johnny, I see you out there. What's up, big guy? Mr. Moreno, he's going to do extremely well. Hey, listen, let me show you guys something before we go. So if you're new and you need to understand the trilogy, first of all, you're going to get back with the person that introduced you. That's real simple. They'll show you how we're using AI. But here's what I'm calling right now my triangle offense, our triple play. I'll think of something. Extra Digit gives you the mindset. As you know by now, we're spending time in October getting everybody mentally prepared for 2026 and beyond. We're using November to get retooled. We're using November to work out the kinks. We're using November to get rid of our stinking thinking. We're using November to make money with AI. Now, our Extra Digit Global family gives you the mindset to create things like simple. That's the skill set. We're going to show you how to shift your money. We're going to show you how to increase, multiply, protect, and leverage everything. Our framework is what you're going to walk through to get financially free with people way, way smarter and way wealthier than me. I'm nowhere near wealthy. These guys are wealthy. Now, because you're part of the community, you get this kind of access to these concepts. And we're using AI in the bottom corner to make the connection to bring more people back. See, when people having fun and they making money, they talk about it. So you got the concepts of extra digit. That's the mindset. Then you got the skill set of simple, shift, increase, multiply, protect, leverage, everything. We're then going to use the tool set. We're using AI to bring some fun to it. Everybody write this down. We got to put the medicine in the candy. You got to put the medicine in the candy, man. See, people don't like to talk about finances. People don't like to talk about trust funds. People don't like to talk about getting out of debt. People don't like when we increase their credit scores and all the things that we're going to do. But I tell you what, if they're having fun doing it, they'll talk about it all day long. AI brings the fun to the business. And that brings people back to the community where we help feed you. So listen, I'm back here tomorrow night. That will be a Wednesday. I'm right back here on this same Zoom, extradigit.community. The password is still going to be wealth, but we're going to ramp up and we're going to switch gears. And I'm going to show you guys tomorrow, now that you understand the illusion and how to see through the illusion, now that you understand that inflation is killing your pockets, and you understand that a business owner is one of the only ways to overcome it, or you will always be on the receiving end of it. I'm going to show you all the different reasons this country is screaming to you, become a business owner. Brian, I already got a business. I already knew this stuff. Yeah, but remember this. The owner of Kibbles and Bits doesn't eat it. Brian, what you mean? Exactly what I said. Just because you have a business and you're already successful and you already knew this, how many people are you blessing with the knowledge, and can you pass a vehicle to them where they can be as lucky as you? See, this isn't about, I already knew that. I've been there, done that. I've been a business owner for years. He ain't saying nothing. Yeah, but can your business be transferable to all the people around you who need your help? AI and our model can help them do that. So tomorrow we're diving into all the reasons this country wants you to be a business owner. And I'm going to uncover some layers so you can see the proof of why that is a fact. Listen, whoever put you on this Zoom, get your AI tools. Start learning it now in November. Get your twins set up so you can start teaching them how to talk and teaching them how to walk and learn and teaching them how to laugh and look just like you and do your social media posts and create your funnel and create your website. Your twin can do all of that. The person that introduced you will give you a link. Then we're going to use this knowledge and this wisdom that you're getting. You're going to put this knowledge and wisdom into your twin, and that twin can speak languages all over the world. We are now Extra Digit Global, and I want to welcome everybody who's brand new to a global movement. See you guys tomorrow night, same time, same Zoom. Bring some people back. Let's dive head first into day 3. Money Talks, Wealth Whispers. Have a good night.